she had all the favors that she was pulling in, and she had a ton of money behind her, and they were completely arrogant, and all the liberal elite in the media thought there was no chance that she was going to lose. She's 95% shoe-in to win the presidency, and she walked around like she was 95%.
She already thought she won.
Let's say it all does go pear-shaped. November 18th, 2016, and for whatever reason, it's President-elect Donald Trump. In that circumstance, is Hillary Clinton moving to Canada?
Forget everything you expect from political takedowns, because this one doesn't start with fireworks. It starts at the moment most stories usually fade out. Imagine Joe Rogan casually dropping a line so sharp it feels like it quietly forces Hillary Clinton's entire legacy into reboot mode. No shouting, no theatrics, just Rogan being Rogan, calm, blunt, and completely unfiltered. It's the kind of breakdown that feels less like a debate and more like someone stepping into his space without realizing the rules have changed. This isn't a staged showdown. It's a slow, comedic dismantling that makes you rewind just to confirm you heard it right. Buckle up. Things get strange fast.
It's one of those things where women want a woman to be president so bad. They want one for the team so bad. And then there's so many people from the left that think she has the best chance of beating Trump or whoever is on the right. They're willing to exonerate her from so many different horrendous things. One of the things I always point out, like, people want to talk progressive, being left-wing, and she didn't even believe in gay marriage until 2013. Yeah, she really did say that.
Yeah, she really did say that after she just got done Gaddafi and then laughed about it.
We came, we saw, he died.
We came, we saw, he died. The fact that any human being would ever do that. By the way he died, that's some dark.
Now picture this moment clearly. Joe Rogan leans forward, the kind of lean that signals disbelief. Hillary Clinton, once again, hinting at political relevance like an old program trying to reinstall itself. The timing feels awkward, unnecessary, and louder than it needs to be. Rogan shakes his head, amazed at how she keeps resurfacing in headlines like outdated software, demanding another update no one asked for.
You would see, like, is Hillary Clinton a criminal? You would find Donald Trump criminal. The Donald Trump criminal You wouldn't find things on Hillary Clinton.
You look at Hillary. She uses the phrase "handmaiden to the patriarchy," which I think she means she's bashing Monica Lewinsky. I'm not sure.
You had to keep digging and digging and digging. If you wanted to find positive things on Hillary Clinton, you could find them quite easily. If you wanted to find positive things on Donald Trump, you wouldn't find anything.
Well, let me first say, I cannot diagnose Donald Trump. I don't know Donald Trump, but I would say that someone who spends time creating a very grandiose view of themselves.
And it was on purpose that they were doing this, and that through this.
Every time Hillary Clinton re-enters the spotlight, it feels like collective deja vu. The universe almost sighs. Didn't we finish this chapter? Apparently not. Rogan can't understand how someone can generate this much repetition without triggering a full system reset. He breaks down her decision-making like a malfunctioning GPS, constantly recalculating, refusing to admit it's wrong, and confidently directing you straight into a lake while insisting it's the correct route.
Amy, go to that Hillary Clinton thing that I texted you today. This one is wild.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
How about that? More MAGA than Trump.
And then you couldn't believe
Rogan jokes that her political instincts resemble ancient flip phones. Slow to load, heavily rehearsed, and somehow still shocked when things don't land. He laughs imagining her internal dialogue freezing mid-sentence, as if her brain is buffering the safest possible response from a massive archive of approved phrases. Nothing spontaneous, everything preloaded.
That's why I give Americans a lot of credit. If you listen to Europeans talk, but they're always marveling at how quote-unquote dumb Americans are. I don't think Americans are dumb, and I think Americans in a lot of ways are very fair-minded too.
Well, there's that, but there's also the fact there's a two-party system where if you are on the left, you have to support whoever's on the left. That's why all these people are lining up to support Hillary Clinton. And ignoring left and right, all the crazy evidence against her just being completely...
Here's where it turns interesting. Rogan points out how Hillary Clinton always seems to act like she's preparing for an election, even when there isn't one. He says she enters rooms scanning faces like she's inside a first-person campaign simulator. Even when she claims she's finished, her posture says otherwise. Rogan jokes she probably practices concession speeches just to stay sharp. And the second a camera appears, her expression resets instantly, like Political Optics version 2.0 just finished installing.
Going on. Like, I was infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real, I really wonder. Like, this Seth Rich shit.
I know, first of all, just leave, you don't even need to go there. You know?
There's so many other things.
Now imagine the chaos. Rogan explains how Clinton handles controversy. Calm, controlled, and quietly erasing the browser history while pretending nothing happened. Her scandals feel like multi-season dramas stretched across decades, each plot twist more complicated than necessary. If there's a simple explanation, she'll transform it into a full political streaming series. Rogan jokes she absorbs criticism like office furniture. Rigid, unmoving, and still standing long after everyone else has walked away. Then it gets surreal. He compares her charisma to a flickering light bulb, sometimes bright, sometimes dim, always making you wonder if maintenance is overdue. She speaks like she's delivering sworn testimony during happy hour. Every attempt to connect feels scripted, overly cautious, and unintentionally funny. Even basic moments spiral into strategy sessions involving charts, advisors, and conflicting memos. Her political decisions feel like spy movies written by someone who's never met a spy, treating every wave to a crowd like a classified operation.
An animal. See, like, if you get into some sort of verbal altercation with Joe Biden, there's no concern for your life. Like, I'm not saying it's real or not, but the rumor is always, there's a thing called the Clinton
Biden
body
is like,
count.
yeah,
Joe Biden I don't know if
like
that's
Uncle
real.
Joe.
I don't think it is real. It's probably some of it, most of it, let's say it's all made up. The fact that that's out there, that the thought is out there, that they will whack you.
Well, I mean, the people who are saying, hey, look, there are lists that are kept and your political career will be over. That was really the message that I got from people who've been around the block.
Here's the punch. Rogan imagines Clinton entering debates with enough preparation to launch a space mission, yet still freezing when faced with a simple, unexpected question. Notes for the notes, backups for the backups, and still reacting like the question arrived from another galaxy. It's as if her mind downloaded too many tactics at once and can't process them in real time. Rogan jokes that every surprise question triggers internal loading noises. Then he tears into her delivery, saying she speaks with the enthusiasm of someone reading parking regulations. She could announce world-changing news and still sound like she's explaining tax codes to a wall. He quips that if she ever spoke naturally, the teleprompter might report abandonment. Interviews, Rogan says, feel like courtroom cross-examinations. Every word weighed, rehearsed, and stress-tested. Even her pauses feel planned. When she tries to relax, it's like a robot discovering emotions for the first time. He imagines her practicing smiles like a lab experiment, adjusting angles until her face meets the legal minimum for approachable.
I always point out, like, people want to talk progressive. You want to talk, being left-wing, and she didn't even believe in gay marriage until 2013.
The best part was she was on NPR, which is this far-right fringe organization, right? NPR, Terry Gross. And Terry Gross says, you used to be against gay marriage. Your husband passed DOMA, which made it a federal law that gay marriage won't be recognized by the federal government. And you changed your position. Like, how did that happen? Was it because Americans became... And Hillary's like, well, America changed their point of view. She goes, no, I understand Americans changed their point of view. What was your mental process? And she goes, no, Terry, you're saying that I changed my mind for political purposes, and that's not true. And
Then Rogan digs deeper. He says Clinton can survive political storms, but struggles to hold casual conversations without sounding like she's negotiating an international treaty. She adapts to voters slowly and cautiously, like recalibrating a thermostat with unnecessary steps. Every attempt at relatability feels like performance art. Stiff posture, forced humor, pop culture references clearly researched minutes earlier. Rogan calls out her obsession with image control, saying she micromanages herself like a group project she never trusted anyone else to touch. Every gesture, tone shift, and outfit choice is calculated. And when something goes wrong, she reacts like someone who just realized they left the stove on. He imagines her political operation as a massive, creaking machine fueled by stale coffee and outdated slogans. Every decision requires approvals, memos, and emergency pivots. Rogan jokes that if she ever had to act spontaneously, the entire system would crash just to install updates.
It doesn't mean that Hillary would have been a good choice either. She was a terrible choice. She's a corrupt politician, one of the most unlikable people that's ever run for office.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
They were trying to get people supporting her just because she's a woman. This is going to be her history. You know, women, ladies, I stand with her. So there's all these women that have this blind allegiance towards this career politician. It's completely full of shit. She's been full of shit forever.
Now sit with this. Rogan compares Hillary Clinton's presence to a Windows update notification. Persistent, unavoidable, and always appearing at the worst possible time. You close it, and minutes later it's back asking if you're sure. She may say she's done. She may insist she's not running. Yet there she is, advising, appearing, resurfacing. Rogan jokes she could survive a political apocalypse purely through determination and an inability to accept finality. Her relevance feels like a house guest who keeps saying goodbye but never leaves. Then he turns theatrical, imagining her return complete with dramatic music and fog machines. Subtlety clearly isn't the plan. Armed with binders, PowerPoints, and years of pent-up readiness, Rogan sums it up perfectly. Hillary Clinton is the political equivalent of a cliffhanger. Unfinished, unresolved, and always returning whether anyone asked for a sequel or not.
If you watch the conversation between James Comey, when James Comey testified about what he did and what they found with the Hillary Clinton emails, and then her version of it, she's just a straight liar. She deleted 33,000 emails.
When I got to work as Secretary of State, I opted for convenience to use my personal email account, which was allowed by the State Department, because I thought it would be easier to carry just one device for my work and for my personal emails instead of two. Looking back, it would have been better if I'd simply used a second email account and carried a second phone, but at the time, this didn't seem like an issue.
Picture the comeback loop. Rogan leans back like he's watching a glitch repeat endlessly. He says Clinton moves through scandals like a seasoned fighter, calm, unfazed, and leaving everyone else wondering why the impact never lands. He jokes that if resilience were a superpower, her origin story would involve hearings, investigations, and a glowing email server. She's the type who could walk through a political hurricane and pause only to straighten her jacket. Rogan laughs at her attempts at spontaneity, comparing them to skydiving while reading the instruction manual midair. When she tries to connect, it feels like a billionaire bonding with shoppers at a grocery store. Capable but disconnected. Even her jokes feel focus group tested by people who didn't laugh. He imagines her mentoring younger politicians with advice that sounds forged through losses and diplomatic battles. Her guidance feels like ancient wisdom wrapped in footnotes. Rogan says listening to her advice must feel like attending a TED Talk delivered by a history book that just learned how to speak.
It's the Clinton speaking fee. Like, no one wants to hear Hillary Clinton speak. Nobody ever has wanted to hear her speak. But if she's getting $400 grand from Goldman Sachs doesn't need to say, hey, by the way, you're going to get speaking fees.
Exactly.
She knows it.
That was why during the Trump debates with Clinton, he was like, release the transcripts of those speeches.
And what is the transcript? Hey, guys, do we really need to be here, or can I go home?
You know what I want. I want you guys to make money.
Will you agree to release these transcripts? They have become an issue.
Sure, if everybody does it, and that includes the Republicans, because we know they have made a lot of speeches. But look, what is this about? This is about whether I have the best plan to go after Wall Street, whether I have a record that already demonstrates my willingness to take on Wall Street and financial interests. And there's
Now imagine this absurd scene. Rogan says Clinton treats interviews like negotiations with hostile governments. Every answer is calculated, filtered, and sanitized. She doesn't respond. She deploys statements. He jokes she sounds like she's about to leak classified information, then remembers the cameras. Even casual chatter feels restricted. Rogan says if you grabbed coffee with her, she'd turn it into a press briefing. She'd analyze the temperature, the cup, and the espresso ratio before delivering 3 key takeaways and concluding with, "We'll monitor this closely." Not even caffeine loosens her up. He pictures her team like medieval advisors whispering strategies, reading polls like prophecies, and treating every appearance as a royal decree. Someone's always drafting an apology memo just in case a curtain moves the wrong way during a photo op.
I think they had some crazy odds of Hillary winning. It was like in the 90%. And we watched it from the Comedy Store. We did a podcast from the Comedy Store called the End of the World podcast. What was most fascinating was the podcast was over and then we all went to the bar, and on the television, Jake Tapper was just seriously bummed out, talking about Trump winning all these different states.
It is remarkable what we're seeing here, not just Ohio, but all over the country.
I think for a lot of people, that was the end of trust in mainstream media. That was the first nail in the coffin. Those to be like, you guys didn't, you were.
Here's the final image. Rogan imagines Clinton spotting a camera across the street and instantly activating campaign mode. Posture adjusted, smile calibrated, tone optimized. He jokes she can switch from casual to formal in under half a second. Her public persona locks into place like tactical gear. If startled awake by a camera, Rogan says she'd deliver a policy summary before opening her eyes. He highlights her ability to remain politically adjacent regardless of circumstances. Like a shadow in every room, never center stage but never gone. Even without a campaign, she stays present through sheer persistence. Rogan compares her to an app that reinstalls itself after deletion. You think it's gone, but by morning it's back. Updated, optimized, and ready to relaunch. And this brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, then hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.